Good evening. We welcome you here to this, our regular session of the West Valley City Council meeting. And we note that we have a full quorum. All council members are present. This evening we have an opening ceremony that will be done by Council Member Steve Benson.
Yeah, this has been shown before in the council meeting, but I thought it was appropriate, and so I'd like to replay this. I don't know, it's probably been a few years ago, so some of you haven't seen it. So I'll have Jake go ahead and find that for us.
I remember a teacher that I had. Now, I went through the 7th grade. I went to the 7th grade. And I left home when I was 10 years old because I was hungry. And I used to, this is true. I'd work in the summer, I'd go to school in the winter. But I had this one teacher, it was the principal of the Harrison School in Vincennes, Indiana. To me, this was the greatest teacher, a real sage of my time, anyhow. He had such wisdom. And we were all reciting the Pledge of Allegiance one day. And he walked over, this little old teacher, Mr. Laswell was his name. Mr. Laswell he says, I have been listening to you boys and girls recite the Pledge of Allegiance all semester, and it seems as though it's becoming monotonous to you. If I may I recite it and try to explain to you the meaning of each word. Me, an individual, a committee of one, pledge, dedicate all of my worldly goods to give without self-pity, allegiance, my love and my devotion to the flag, our standard, O glory, a symbol of freedom. Wherever she waves, there's respect. Because your loyalty has given her a dignity that shouts freedom is everybody's job. United. That means that we have all come together. States. Individual communities that have united into 48 great states. 48 individual communities with pride and dignity and purpose. All divided with imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common purpose, and that's love for country. And to the republic, a state in which sovereign power is invested in representatives chosen by the people to govern. And government is the people, and it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people, for which it stands. One nation, meaning so blessed by God, indivisible, incapable of being divided, with liberty, which is freedom, the right of power to live one's own life without threats, fear, or some sort of retaliation, and justice, the principle or qualities of dealing fairly with others. For all, which means, boys and girls, it's as much your country as it is mine. And now, boys and girls, let me hear you recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since I was a small boy, 2 states have been added to our country, and 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance, under God. Wouldn't it be a pity if someone said that as a prayer and that would be eliminated from schools too.
Would you stand and recite the pledge with me?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Councilman Vincent, any further comments? We would note, perhaps this is appropriate place to do so, that before a council meeting, we unveiled a Freedom Shrine out in our hallway. For those who might listen in, we invite them to come down and view those documents. And very appropriate timing with the 4th of July and all the events that are happening at this point. Thank you very much. Now, I note we do have some people here, and I'm wondering, because there's some young men here, are you associated with some sort of a troop, explorer group, or are you just visiting tonight?
Boy Scouts.
Your Scouts.
Boy Scouts.
Then we would invite one of you to come forward, one of you young men, tell us what troop, the schools you attend, and if you're working on a merit badge or something tonight or something, would you please indicate that? Please come up and introduce yourself. Come up here to the microphone so that we can all hear.
We're Troop 890. We go to Matheson Junior High, and we're working on citizenship in the community and communication merit badges. So.
Very good. Thank you. Welcome. Appreciate you coming to visit us tonight. Next on our agenda is our minutes of June 17th. To the council then for action on the minutes.
Mayor, I move for approval of the June 17th, 2014 minutes.
Councilman Nordfeld has made a motion to approve the minutes. Do we have a second?
Second?
We have a second from Councilman Vincent. The motion is properly before us. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll place it for a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes of June 17th, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Motion passes unanimously. Next on our agenda, we come to a point where we invite public comment. We asked people to sign up. We have one individual, Darwin Melville, who has come to speak. If you would come to the microphone, and if you would give your name and your address, and then you can begin your comments.
Name's Darwin Melville, 5134 West, 4200 South, West Valley. And appreciate you guys giving me an ear today, Mayor, Mr. Mayor, and also the councilman. I am concerned about the city ordinance, not the ordinances themselves, but the way that they are not being enforced. I am greatly concerned about the community. I love the area I live in. I live in a great neighborhood. We love the city. I'm active in Neighborhood Watch, and it seems when we put in online or we talk to individuals that we get shut down quite often. I currently put in some concerns I had on a house that's near where I live. And Mr. Mayor, I sent you an email on this. I don't know whether you've had time yet to read it, but the concern I have is in their driveway they have, and my understanding of code is that they're not allowed to have furniture and things in their driveway and things like that. 5 refrigerators facing the wall. They have a kitchen table sitting in their driveway. They have chairs sitting out there. They have a pontoon boat sitting on the curb outside that's been there for over a month and a half. Occasionally it leaves and comes back, but is there most of the time. There's an RV out there that's been parked there for 8 to 9 months that has been sitting there for that amount of time. They do move it here and there around their property. Someone came out once and spoke on this. They were told, the officer was told that the fellow drives it to and from work. It never leaves other than to be moved once in a while. Occasionally it will disappear for about a month and then it's back. And this is an RV. It is not a camper. It looks like a camper, but it's the old style RV where the back is not removable, but it sits. And we have spoken to the officer for our area, and we don't get any response on that. It's just doesn't feel right in the neighborhood, and it also is, as far as I understand, is against code. Not picking on this family. I don't have any qualms with them personally. I just have concerns about the things they're doing, and maybe they need to be educated. Maybe somebody needs to let them know what code is and go from that point. But I take great pride in my yard. I take great pride in my neighborhood. I want things to look nice, and I don't want things to go downhill, and that's where I'm coming from. I want to maintain a nice neighborhood and be part of this community the best I can, stand up for the things I can to make it a better place. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. I don't have anyone else signed up to speak, so we will turn to the city manager for comments.
Thank you, sir. No comments this evening other than just a quick comment to Mr. Melville. I'll get out and personally take a look at the address and see what's going on with the case.
Okay, then to the council. And I think I would state, if there was an email, I have a bunch of, I took a week off and I got way behind. That's okay, I'm not taking another week off. But we will get to that. And usually the staff will monitor those and try and get feedback, even if I don't get to it. Councilman Bueller.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a comment by way of a council report, and I hope Sam Johnson is still back there to hear this as well. Friday night, I was able to make my way over to the plaza for the, what is it called?
Friday night.
Summer at the Station. And the band there, Cholula, was very good. While I was there, Mayor Becker from Salt Lake City wandered by. He was on his way to Tracks from Shula's, where he'd been meeting with Councilman Rushton and others, and he stopped there for a while and I spoke with him. He was very impressed with the quality of the band and the quality of the setting, and complimented us on that. I wanted to pass that along. While I was listening to the band Cholula, another gentleman approached me and wanted to talk about the band that was there, and he was actually the band leader of the Cabana Boys that had performed the week before, and I didn't see them a week before, but I did see them last year perform there. And he expressed his frustration in the crowd, that we should do a better job publicizing this, that we should have it out on Facebook, and that if invited, he would have lots of pictures, and he would want to repost, and he would want to upload things to promote his band, and he knew that this other band that he was friends with some of the members was there watching, they would like to do the same. And I just expressed to him that I would pass that on, that if there is a better way that we can promote this and make it open to them to promote it themselves and attach themselves to our website or Facebook page or whatever, that at least these bands and probably others would be willing and wanting to do that to promote better attendance there. And that's all I have to report from there.
Thank you. Councilman Rushton?
Thank you, Mayor, and my comments tonight also will be based around the council reports that had we time in the previous meeting would have given. But first of all, just by way of business and report to the council that the mayor and I, as well as our city manager and a number of others, comprise the audit review committee, which met yesterday to initiate the audit. And I have a copy of the engagement letter in the office for you to, it's about 10 pages. It goes through the scope and direction of the audit. And so that's there for you to review, as the auditors do work for the city council. But also, if you do have anything of questions or concerns as we start the audit process, that you can contact either our finance director or any number of the members of the committee. After that report, just secondly, wanted to publicly thank all those members of the city staff, as well as members of the city council, several members of the business community, the Green Papaya, Olive Garden, Valley Fair Mall, Zions Bank, and even a couple others, as well as council members and staff from Salt Lake City, Bountiful, and South Jordan City. And of course, Shula's, as Councilman Bueller mentioned, of participating in West Valley's hosting of the National League of Cities First-Tier Suburbs Group. That in those 3 or 4 days, we were able to accomplish a lot. And those of you that spoke with the visiting members, council members from other cities, comments of good and bad things and things that we're doing in the city, as well as ideas that were shared. And again, it comes back to just the staff here that we have in West Valley that helped not only arrange that meeting, and Deanne Barney and Jason, now of the administration, were integral in putting that all together, but just really showcased even those employees that weren't directly involved in the meetings and the conference per se. The work that they've been doing over the years was showcased and highlighted, and will help not only the other members that attended in what they take back with their cities, but in shaping of federal policy for similar communities to us. And so I wanted to thank the staff and all those members of other Utah cities, as well as the business community that participated in that.
Thank you. Further reports or comments? I think I would mention a couple of items to you. This past week on Wednesday, I was able to meet with the Rotary Club. They have now officially formed a chapter here in our city, and that got off to a rousing start, and so that is now up and functioning. It was great to meet with them. I was one of the charter members, I guess. I believe that Enrique Sosa is there as the city representative. I'm not sure. Anyway, he was there, so I assume he's the city representative. And we have a lot of great members, and will interact with the city, I'm sure, a great deal. One of the things that they've asked about that I would ask that you consider as well, the Rotary Club, of course, participates in the community, and they look for ways to help, and they've asked me for some suggestions. And I thought you would have some great suggestions on things that the Rotary might consider to be involved with and do here in our city. So if you wouldn't mind, not right here in our meeting, but if you would get that information to me. They've asked me to take some time here in a couple of weeks and just give them some feedback. We don't know what direction they will take, but certainly we can give them some ideas, I think. They are a service group, a very active group, so we look forward to working with them. I also attended COM, the Conference of Mayors, and they decided that they would invite legislators to their meeting, and about 10 came, and they were going to have each of them speak, but the first one who got up spoke for about 40 minutes, so they decided that they would have then President Niederhauser just take a few minutes and the rest didn't speak. But they're going to invite them there, and the issue related to transportation is still very much alive and being discussed, and that was what was mostly talked about while we were there. The same bills and issues that arose last year are still being discussed. And they're trying to figure out what they can do to be more successful this year than they were last year. And so, a lot of discussion on that. And then the other thing is to say that next week I will not be here, so the Mayor Pro Tem will be conducting the meetings. So, and enjoy next week. I know I will. With that then, we go next to our agenda on resolutions. And we have resolution 14-109. This particular resolution is for the purchase of some vehicles. I got to get here to my... in fact, this one, as well as the next resolution, 14-110, are the purchase of the light-duty vehicles, primarily for our police department, some others that are being done. These are simply replacement vehicles. There are two different resolutions because of two different vendors. So, is there anything else that we ought to cover on this? Most of you are aware of this, and of course these are items that we have previously discussed in our study meeting last week. So these items are now before us. Mostly police, a few fire, some community preservation on this first one. Anything else we need to add there, Mr. Pyle?
No, sir, thanks.
Okay. To the council then, for discussion or action. Councilman Bueller.
Thank you, Mayor. I move for approval of Resolution 14-109.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilman Bueller, a second by Councilman Rushton. The motion is properly before us. Any further discussion? Councilman Vincent.
Just to note that these vehicles are being purchased from Henry Day Ford, which is a local West Valley City business, and that just makes us even better.
All right, thank you. Seeing no further discussion, we will place the motion for a vote. All in favor of approving Resolution 14-109 to purchase 22 vehicles from Henry Day Ford, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. Now Resolution 14-110. This is for the same purpose, and on this one there are only 8 vehicles, and this one is from Tony Davino, Toyota. And not on here. I believe these were also for mainly, police. 8 vehicles for the police department to replace the current vehicles. Most of these have extended mileage, and there is a planned program for those in the public where those are replaced. These vehicles that are being replaced to have generally 100 to 120,000 miles. In some rare cases, if there are other issues, they might be replaced sooner. And we are purchasing a number of hybrid vehicles, which is a real plus. I think that's better for the environment. And so, with that then, anything else we ought to get on the record there, Mr. Pyle?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. To the council then, for action or discussion.
Motion to approve resolution 14-110.
Councilman Hune has a motion before us to approve this resolution. Do we have a
Second.
second? Second from Councilman Nordfeld. Motion is properly before us. Any comments? Discussion? Seeing none, we'll place it for a vote. All in favor of resolution 14-110 to approve 8 vehicles from Tony DeVito, Toyota, for the police department, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. Now we move to resolution 14-111. This is to approve a cooperative agreement. Among West Valley City and several local government entities to facilitate cooperative procurement endeavors for law enforcement. And I believe that most of you remember the discussion on that. And that is just an opportunity to participate with other groups to get better purchasing authority or power, if you will. And that is a good thing for the city. That typically will save money, but is not required. Each of those we can enter into once we have this cooperative agreement. Each one can be entered into individually. We're not bound, but we certainly can participate. So with that, anything else that we need to get on record, Mr. Pyle?
No, sir.
Thank you. Then to the council for action on Resolution 14-111.
Mayor, I move for approval of Resolution 14-111.
Councilman Vincent has made a motion to approve this resolution. Do we have a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Lang has a second. The motion is properly before us. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll place it for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. We now go to our consent agenda. There are 3 resolutions there, and these are typically of such routine or type of things that we do that we can take them as a whole or individually. The 3 resolutions are to ratify the city manager's appointment of Ron Watt as a member of the West Valley City Historical Society, to accept a grant of temporary construction easement for Malibu Investment Company at approximately 3500 South and 12th West. And then the third one, another grant of a temporary construction easement very close to that same location from Silo Farms, granting us some authority to enter there and do some work. So, unless the council so indicates, we'll either take a motion for it all or some other motion.
Mayor, I'll move for approval of the 3 resolutions consisting of our consent agenda.
Thank you. We have the motion properly before us from Councilman Rushton. Do we have a second?
Second.
Councilman Bueller has a second. The motion is properly before us. Any further discussion? Very well, seeing no discussion, then we will place that motion for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. That completes our regular agenda. I am not aware of a need for an executive session. Is there one? No. Indicate no. Then we have completed our work for our regular city council meeting, but stay tuned. So we need a motion to adjourn this council meeting, and we'll go to our next meeting.
Move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. We are adjourned of our regular city council meeting.
And I will hereby call to order the regular meeting of the West Valley City Redevelopment Agency here on Tuesday, July 1st. And note that we've had an opening ceremony and the roll call has all members of the body present. You all have the minutes of our June 3rd, 2014 regular meeting before you for action.
Chairman, move for approval of the June 3rd regular meeting of the RDA.
Seconded.
We have a motion and second to approve the minutes of the June 3rd, 2014 regular meeting. Any discussion to that? And all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are unanimously approved. Any communication or report from our Chief Executive Officer tonight?
No, sir, thanks.
Okay, then will you please introduce our loan resolution, which is Resolution 1414, please?
I will, thank you, sir. We have a contract we'd like to award to Costello Company Incorporated to demolish several properties that we've purchased over within the redevelopment agency. This would be in the amount of $80,325, and it comes from the RDA, of course, for a source of funds.
Okay, board members, any questions or need for clarifications on this item of business? Not a motion would be in order.
Mr. Chair, I move for approval of Resolution 14-14.
Second motion.
Okay. Have a motion before us to approve Resolution 1414. Any discussion to that motion? Seeing none, I will call the question and ask all those in favor to please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution 1414 is approved unanimously. Concludes our business, so to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, all in favor of adjournment of the RDA, please say aye.
Aye.
This body will stand adjourned.
I call to order the West Valley City Housing Authority. Though that we have had an opening ceremony and all members of the body are present, we have on our agenda the minutes of June 3rd, 2014.
Move for approval of said minutes?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion to the minutes? I will call the matter for a vote. Those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
The minutes have been approved by unanimous vote. Mr. Pyle, any communication or report tonight?
No, sir, thank you.
Then the only thing that we can do is bring this meeting to a close. If anybody-
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have a motion to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.